Good evening. I'm Arabia Sahran, Director of AUB Alumni Relations Office, and a proud legacy parent too. President Dorman, Provost Dalal, AUB deans, faculty and staff, AUB friends, AUB alumni parents and their children. I'm delighted to welcome you all to AUB and to Legacy Ceremony 2030. May you please stand up for the national anthem. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce you to Dr. Nabil Dajani, WAAAUB President, and I just want to give reminders. Please complete the cards and give them back to us. We're looking forward to talking to you about your expectations at the reception, and the other speakers will follow as in the program of the event. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Dajani.
Fellow alumni, new students and friends, Ahlan wa sahlan. This ceremony has a special flavor for me. It brings nostalgia about my early days at AUB. The AUB roots in my family as well as in many families in the region run deep and wide. They embrace not just grandparents and parents, but cousins and aunts and uncles as well. For many alumni parents like me, a member or more of the family has been an AUB student for as long as they can remember. I cannot think of any of my friends who does not have one or more member of her family who are not AUB graduates. Alumni parents of the new students who are present here will most probably notice that the landscape of AUB and Ras Beirut has undergone major changes in the past decades. The physical landscape will continue to change, but what is more significant is that the perspective of students and parents about higher education has changed over time. When I joined AUB over half a century ago, my choice of a course of university study was determined more by my parents' outlook to higher education. A professional degree was considered to be the track that a male student has to follow, and pre-med was my expected choice. Thus, when I decided in my second semester to shift to a social science major, my father would not speak to me for a whole month. How can I tell my friends that my son is studying sociology? Who would tell me? This old view, I believe, is losing ground, and the enrollment of new male students in programs in the humanities and social sciences is becoming more common and tolerant. I'm not here to speak for or against the new or old landscape or the new or old perspective of higher education. I'm simply presenting you with a picture of what I see and hope that you will think about. As President of the Worldwide Alumni Association, WAAAUB, I'm delighted to be here with you at the 5th Annual Legacy Ceremony. I'm especially proud of the fact that our association took the initiative to recognize the significance of the multi-generational ties we all share with our alma mater by holding this event. As I look out on this large audience filled with proud alumni parents and new students, it might be useful to remind ourselves what in particular drives generations of students through the main gate. Of course, above all, academic excellence and the highest standard of education motivate many. But there is also another layer of experience which explains the makeup of those who study here. An understanding of the diversity of the human experience and the tolerance which that understanding fosters. It engenders the talent for critical thinking and opens the door for free debate. It is these values which allow the AUB legacy to continue. As president of AUB, I also want to take this first opportunity to welcome our new students and look forward to see them take on the important role of being alumni of AUB upon graduation after they spend several years of preparation. I hope during your time here you will have the opportunity to learn more about the Alumni Association. AUB has a network of over 60 alumni chapters worldwide. Through the alumni volunteers elected to the leadership bodies, it oversees a rich program of events on campus and elsewhere, including quiz nights, holiday parties, and dinner, and our annual reunion weekend. We are reaching out to alumni through our social media outlets and expanding the scope of our career and our network. We rely on our alumni to support our activities and intend that our outreach provides a visible means for all of you to stay connected to each other and to AUB. Alumni parents, I know the special pride you must you take today in knowing what a wonderful journey your son or daughter is setting out upon. A journey which you yourself undertook years ago, which profoundly affected your lives. And I'm glad that if only for a brief time, through the avenue of this legacy ceremony, we all have been able to take a portion of that trip together. I hope that these coming years will bring alumni parents even closer to their alma mater and provide a lifetime of memories for our future young alumni. Thank you. And I will call on Dr. Salim Kanaan, Director of AUB Admissions and Financial Aid, to address the meeting.
It's great to have you here with your sons and daughters joining the AUB during this academic year. I would like to congratulate each of the new students on achieving entry into this great institution. This year, your cohort includes a large number of international students from various countries, especially those joining the freshman class. And practically, we hope that you'll be feeling welcome and that your time with us will be one where we'll learn from you and you'll learn from us. AUB has undergone a long path to add students. From a mere 3,000 students in the 70s to 5,000 students in the 90s to its present number. Last year we had 8,168 students, including more than 1,600 doing their master's degrees, medical doctor degrees, and PhDs. We had this year around 5,000 regular undergraduate applications. And we are expecting to have registering around 35% based on our selection process. The experience and variety of the backgrounds represented within this cohort is great. One of the richest elements of the experience of previous groups of students has been that of interacting with other different groups of students. This group of committed students is coming from 412 schools located in 30 different countries. Here you will encounter a lot of differences, many of them positive, and some even fascinating. I think the first experience you had was the registration of the courses on Friday and Saturday, which I hope we did not feel a lot of difficulties. 82% of our entering class are coming from 266 schools in Lebanon. 16% are coming from 115 schools in the Arab countries, and 2% from 31 schools around the globe. We have 41 nationalities which are represented in this entering group, and we have a 1-to-1 ratio between males and females. 45% of the committed freshmen are Lebanese, while we have 55% coming from the rest of the world, mostly from Arabs and Americans. Keeping high academic standards and improving the diversity of the student body are but continuous goals of the institution. Thus, 49% of the entering class ranked among the top 15% of their classes. 70% were ranked among the top 25% of their classes, and 94% are ranked among the top 50 percentile of their classes. Achieving a socio-economical diversity is also a part of the AUB mission. And from a $4.5 million in terms of financial aid budgets in the year 2000, which was distributed to 1,600 students, last year we distributed $21.9 million to around 3,000 students, in addition to $4.6 million in terms of federal loans and local loans within the different banks. This would never have been achieved without the commitment of the institution and the support of the alumni and the friends of AUB around the globe. It's worth mentioning that the percentage of the entering undergraduate students with direct alumni relation, meaning father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, is currently around 19%. Thus, 1 out of each 5 students entering AUB has a direct alumni relation, making AUB an ideal place for a community spirit. Finally, it's said, it's not the number of years in your life that counts, but rather the life within these years. And I do hope you would make the best of your stay at AUB, and that one day you will cherish the same memory that your parents and I had in the past, so that AUB would remain an example of a community bonded for life. Thank you. Dr. Talal Nizamuddin, Dean of Student Affairs.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and alumni of AUB, loving parents, welcome to AUB. As all of you, I'm sure, are aware, these are difficult days for the region. The political storm and security dangers have not subsided. Yet we carry on, as AUB has always done, to rise above the melee and do what AUB does best: to educate, to provide care, and to lead. We have among our alumni and students here 2, maybe 3 generations gathered, and each generation has seen its own shares of change in the region. And yet a solid bond joins all of us. We are bound by the great hopes, sacrifice, and love parents have for their children, the eternal debt children have for their parents. And this powerful relationship is channeled and reflected through this great university, and its students, past and future. We are all familiar with AUB's special history and the great reputation the university enjoys, not only for its great high academic standards, which we have almost taken for granted, but also its vibrant and widely acknowledged student life and student body. What stands out among graduates of AUB is that special AUB experience. And I believe that is why many parents send children to their beloved AUB, despite all the offerings of globalization and easy travel. To the parents of children joining us, let me assure you that the legacy you have helped to create remains with us today. That the great university that you knew remains a great university today. This begins with a beautiful campus and the preservation of the architectural heritage and green spaces. For students entering AUB, your AUB parents have become leaders in a variety of fields, including business and finance, construction, medicine, politics, and many other areas. And for students today, the Career Center and Job Fair each year hosts over 150 major global and regional firms. We offer advice and guidance on everything from CV writing to interview skills, and global firms often conduct on-campus interviews. AUB graduates remain very highly sought after in the region and beyond. The university, as always, continues to cherish its diversity, maintaining diversity among Lebanese and also international students. AUB, in the context of a liberal arts tradition, houses and protects all kinds of ideas and promotes a secure environment to express opinions. And we take our duty to protect this diversity of ideas and opinions very seriously. We are also proudly secular and promote all faiths and encourage all faiths to mingle. We absolutely endorse gender equality, so that generation after generation the AUB student body has been a vanguard of Lebanese and Arab societies. As part of our efforts to support students from all social backgrounds, for example, the work-study program gives students the opportunity to work and earn a monthly income at the university. This not only helps students get some pocket money, but gain some work experience too. There are thousands of students at AUB who are active in clubs, in student government, in sports. We have 60 clubs reflecting an extremely rich and colorful range of activities and interests. The AUB student body elects its own representatives. Outlook newspaper still provides a forum for student expression. West Hall, this wonderful building where we are, remains the home of student life and student activism. The new generation of AUBites can enjoy the Charles Hostler Student Center on Lower Campus, which used to be known as the quiet area of campus. Now it is a world-class facility for sports and activities, catering for over 8,000 students. Some 350 of our students are members of varsity teams and compete at the highest levels in the region. In fact, our varsity teams reign supreme in Lebanon, and we have added new teams such as American football and lacrosse. So for the students just joining us, there's no excuse not to live abundantly while you are here. I urge you to enjoy yourselves and also build on the great AUB legacy that your parents have helped to build. Thank you very much.
Please join me in welcoming our next speaker, President Peter Dorman.
Thank you and good evening. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you here, and not only the new students, of course, but their parents as well, many of whom are good friends of ours already, or even on our faculty and among our staff. First, let me address a few words to the parents. I want all of you to know how proud and gratified we are that you have entrusted the education of your children to the institution that you also graduated from. That is a source of great pride for us and also a continuation of a long historic legacy. I am convinced, along with all of you, that AUB offers an incomparable liberal arts education in one of the most diverse and diversified parts of the region. And indeed, Lebanon, I think, is one of the most multicultural countries in the world. I think those of us who work here, those of you who come to study here, and those of you who call AUB your alma mater are remarkably privileged to have this institution as your own. For parents, I hope that you will remain engaged with your students as they make their way through the years of their education. And of course, we always look forward to seeing you on campus whenever you come. It is indeed your second home away from home. But my remarks really are primarily for entering students. I look forward in the years to come to seeing your active participation in many community events. I hope you will be active members of the community in as many ways as possible. This is a rich and varied and diverse community. I also hope that you will take some time to reflect on why you chose to come to AUB, why you are here, and in point of fact, what you hope to get out of it before you have the chance to graduate. First and foremost, I think it's an education that prepares you to find fulfilling employment in some career or other once you graduate. But I think the AUB experience should be, and indeed will be, much more than that. I hope that in the years to come, each of you will choose to become an active and engaged learner. And by that I mean not only in coursework or engaged with your peers, with your fellow students, with your faculty members, but also in the areas of activity outside the classroom. A liberal arts education encourages you more than ever to look beyond the core courses you will be required for your chosen major. And these other courses are not necessarily something to slog through. Dr. Dejani mentioned that in fact some of those core courses that he began slogging through actually led him to change his major to sociology, which was a vast disappointment to his family. But it's an option that I hope all of you will at least entertain. You might even find that your true calling is somewhat different than the major you declared upon entering, and that's okay too. I say that to the parents as well as you. And at the very least, I think you will broaden your horizons. I also encourage you to take full advantage and to become fully engaged with other parts of campus life, the ones that Dean Nazamuddin has just been listing for you. Consider the many student clubs that you could join. Be part of a theater production. Sing with a choir. Begin your own singing group or your own band. Work with a student newspaper. Join a sports team. Try to participate as fully as you can in the intellectual and the physical activities that are available here. AUB every year hosts a huge variety of cultural performances, largely at Assembly Hall, but a large number of academic conferences as well, where international faculty and visiting scholars come to lend their expertise to major issues that are being discussed at AUB. And if these at all have an interest for you, please join in. There are exciting ways to get involved with the communities outside our walls. Civic engagement is an important part of an AUB education. We interact with our surrounding communities. Engaging in public service builds character while also addressing public problems that are of grave importance to Lebanon and to our region. Above all, make close friends. And I think by meeting and discussing with new people the kinds of issues that crop up in class, you will be exposed to different ideas, different perspectives, different points of view on the world, in politics, in art, in music. These are the kinds of experiences that you will remember, that you will take away from your education and carry with you. I think if you ask your own parents what they remember most about their college education and about AUB, you may be surprised. They'll more than likely touch on these curricular activities. They may talk about certain benches that they prefer on campus. They may talk about their most favorite smoking spots on campus. By the way, these smoking places on campus are much reduced than in past years. We also have a remarkable legacy of families at AUB, and you are joining that wonderful legacy. It is one of our great triumphs, I think. You, both parents and students, epitomize the link between this university's past and what I think is its very bright future. I thank you for all being here today to keep that tradition alive. After the program ends here today in this auditorium, of course, there will be a reception downstairs in the Mahmoud Malhas common room, and this will give you a chance to speak with several of our deans who are here today, and I would like to just introduce you to them so you'll know whom to contact. Let me just go down the row. Perhaps you could stand up as I introduce you. Dr. Hado Hayer, Director of the School of Nursing. Dean Makram Suidan of the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture. Dean Nahta Hawalla of the School of Agricultural and Nutritional Food Sciences. I bungled that, I'm sorry. It's Agricultural and Food Sciences, thank you. Dr. Ziad Hazal, Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medicine. Dean Iman Waihed of the Faculty of Health Sciences, and Dr. Salim Shaheen, Acting Dean of the Halayan School of Business. Please feel free to approach any or all of these wonderful people, and they will talk your ear off about their faculty, so also beware. I welcome you all here. Thank you all for coming, and I look forward to speaking to each of you later on at the reception.
Many of our entering students this year are third-generation AUB students. Among them is Jawad Said, son of Zaina Karagulla Said, EBA 84 and MBA 86, and the grandson of Fahmi Karagulla, Bachelor of Engineering 41. It is indeed a pleasure to ask Zaina Karagulla Said to address this year's legacy ceremony on behalf of the alumni parents.
Dear friends and distinguished guests, it is my distinct honor of addressing you this evening. Tonight, I would like to share with you from my heart a message that captures the pride I harbored as an AUB graduate. In addition to calling AUB my alma mater, I am proud to say that I am the daughter, the sister, the aunt, the cousin, the friend, the niece of AUB alumni, and the mother of 2 AUB students. Looking out at the large number of people gathered here today, I am sure that there are others who, like me, have many family members who are part of our esteemed university. Like you, I am a proud member of AUB's extended family, a feeling shared by many parents and children. Since its establishment, this leading institution of higher education has graduated generations of leaders, thinkers, decision makers, activists, as well as, and just as importantly, dedicated mothers and fathers. My family's deep relationship with AUB began with my father, Fahmi Karagulla, born in 1920 in Merdin, a village situated on the Syrian-Turkish-Iraqi border. His parents held an unshakable belief that a good education would present him with a world of opportunities, and so they decided to send him off to Lebanon, while his older sister Shafia was already enrolled as a student at AUB's medical school to pursue his degree at what was then and still remains the leading institution of higher education in the region. In 1941, my father graduated with a BA in engineering. Many years later, he still recalls fond memories of those wonderful years, in particular the social outings to Faisal restaurant, facing AUB main gate with his friends and professors. My dad's youngest sister, Helen, followed in his footsteps and joined the ranks of the elite group of women who were enrolled at AUB during that era. She graduated in 1951 with a BA in philosophy. Allow me to take this opportunity to pay tribute to my dad and acknowledge the outstanding contributions he made to this institution as well as to the country and the region at large, owing to his entrepreneurial spirit and the solid academic foundation he received at AUB. My father led successful completion of several key engineering projects, especially at AUB, like AUB Nancy Hall, renovation of AUB Fisk Hall and Post Hall, AUB Men's Dormitory, American University Hospital, International College, Mishref, Naharikel, Artabaro, Jordan, Beirut International Airport. Then it was my turn to embark on the AUB path. There was no escaping it, as we joke in my family, that AUB runs in our blood. I joined the institution in 1981 to pursue a bachelor in business followed by an MBA. Shortly upon graduation, I was lucky enough to be recruited by the Arab Bank in London as a corporate finance officer. You could imagine my pride back then. 4 years later, in 1991, I was promoted to a very prestigious and sought-after position, spouse of a public figure and mother of 3 wonderful kids. Like many professional women, I was often torn between pursuing my career and balancing my family obligations, ensuring that I was a constant presence in my kids' life as they were growing up. Today, I'm confident I made the right choice since my efforts paid off. My daughter Aliyah and son Jawad are AUB students, respectively doing a double major in business and psychology and in landscape architecture. My son Antun broke from tradition and is currently pursuing a law degree at USG. And he plans for law studies and degrees at AUB soon, Dr. Dorman. AUB is not only our alma mater, it is our second home. The AUB education, culture, and spirit run in our blood. It is anchored in our genes. I can proudly say we are a generation of AUBites. I am overwhelmed with nostalgia when I reflect on my student life at AUB. For me, it will always be remembered as a place of peace and refuge during a time when the country experienced endless turmoil, instability, and chaos. It was a safe nest during those dark and difficult times and allowed our generation the chance to meet, to share opinions, to debate ideas, and even argue, as long as it was done with respect and dignity. We had the unique opportunity to interact with people of diverse political, cultural, and religious affiliations. In a country torn by conflicts, strikes, and bombing, this institution was a challenge platform for a young, idealistic, and passionate generation. It gave us a chance. Today, our campus might look different from when we attended, but my lively discussions with my family, friends, and colleagues have confirmed my belief that the fabric of student life remains as it always has. Students still gather in front of West Hall to attract attention and brag about personal achievements and share love life stories, compete in various activities and clubs, complain about grades, exams, and instructors, all of what makes a university life an incomparable and unique experience, one that forges your personality, offers lifelong friendship ties, and most importantly, paves the way to a successful personal and professional journey. What I am most proud of today is this feeling of belonging. Belonging not only to a university, but also to a community, a lively, diversified family who shares the same values, goals, and ambitions. It is mainly at AUB that we learn to live together, to agree, and sometimes to agree to disagree, to respect each other, to be open, to tolerate differences. The AUB community has survived critical challenges in Lebanon and the region, but never gave up on providing its students with the best education, coaching them to be citizens of the world, leaders of change, and individuals who strive for a tolerable and equitable world. AUB was founded to serve as a bridge between the Arab world, the Middle East, and the West, And the image of AUB we want our future generations to safeguard is one that embraces modernity, is cosmopolitan and open-minded in outlook, yet always remains organic and authentic in nature. Today, we are at a major turning point in the history of our region. May God preserve this institution and help it to serve as a model of tolerance and democracy for the rest of the country. Allow me, dear friends, to close with an inspirational quote by Jonetta Cole. An education that teaches you to understand something about the world has done only half of the assignment. The other half is to teach you to do something about making the world a better place.
As we're coming to an end, may I ask the new students to come to the platform here, please, for a picture, for a group picture. And as the students are assembling, let me report to you that we have started this year a new tradition with us students and parents to write us their expectations about their sons studying at AUB. And we plan next year, hopefully, to follow up this and find out from the students and the parents what they think about their expectations. Here I have a sample of these expectations. One parent wrote, outstanding education, great exposure to diverse cultures, and brilliant minds. This is what he or she expects his student, his son, to do. And another parent said to be part of a unique university with a rich history and an excellent education. Now let me read to you two of the students' remarks. One said he's looking for a challenging curriculum, a possibility of meeting new people, and an exposure to be a new exciting world, and learning to be street smart, widening my social circle. I ask President Dorman to join us.